Hey guys, welcome to the Alternative Movement Podcast. My name is Craig, your host, and today we are joined by Nick Hewitt. I'm quite excited to have you on today, Nick. We've not had a bodybuilder on before with our adaptive, some of our adaptive athletes.
We call it an aspiring bodybuilder.
An aspiring bodybuilder. Not quite there yet.
Getting there.
You're on the journey.
Yeah, well, I competed in 2015. And then, I was fine. I weren't in a chair at the time, so that was the last time I competed. And I kind of fell out of love with it a little bit.
Okay.
In the sense of, I don't know. We just went through a phase of I'm not really enjoying training. I'm not really enjoying the gym. Mm-hmm. So we started boxing, and that ended prematurely. I ripped my bicep off when I hit someone.
Oh, nice. Was it one of the ones where you could actually see it go up the arm?
No, to be fair, no. I don't know how much you'll see on this. But it was, can you see any scar? I mean, the scar starts here and then runs through there and stops there. But to be honest, no. That's what the hospital were looking for. Like, they call it the Popeye arm. Yeah. But mine was different. My tendon got stuck. It come off the bone and then got stuck in muscles there, man. Which is why my scar so big they couldn't find a tendon. And I was under for 45 minutes longer than I should have been. So yeah, that was the end of my boxing career as well. Very, very quick.
It's over super quick.
I went back to the gym.
Yeah, I've seen. I can't remember the guy's name now. He's a well-known bodybuilder, but you might have seen the video when he was doing bench press and his pec. You just see his pec just go. He
done it with Larry Wills, didn't he?
That's it. Yeah, man. Honestly, I watched that. I dropped my phone. That was the worst thing I've ever seen.
It is a good one. I'll tell you another good one to watch is Callum von Morga. He done it. He was doing a 400, I think it's 400-pound bicep curl with Chris Bumstead in Venice. And they lifted it together.
Yes, I have seen that one. You just literally see it just sliver up his arm.
Yeah, that is it.
That's enough to make your eyes water.
That Larry Wills one, you get to watch it in slow motion as well, and you just watch his pec fold in, and you're just like,
oh man, I don't think I could cope with that.
No, exactly. That's a big injury.
Oh, cool, Nick. So look, tell me a little bit about yourself. How you got to the point you are today. Obviously, you said you competed before you was in the chair.
Yes,
you was bodybuilding before then.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it was more of a progressive injury. I mean, I was in the army. I come out of the army in 2011, November 2011, medically discharged, and it's always just progressed. It's a weird one. Like every now and then, like before I was in the army, I was all good, and then after, like my back would something would happen, and like I'd be like down and out, like couldn't move for a couple of days, and then a few months later I'd be all right, and then again something. It's hard to explain. Like when I explain it to like doctors and stuff, and like, okay, tell me what happens. It's like I don't really know. Like it could be something as little as just leaning forward, and something would ping. And that's it. Yeah. I'm done. Like I physically can't move. Like I'm stuck. I can't get up. I can't get in the bath. And that would be like that for like a week. And then the next year, again, it would happen. Like just from a little movement, just like a movement that you don't do a lot. And I know leaning forward sounds weird, but that's my issue. Like leaning forward is a big issue for me. And then I get to a point where I think, oh, I'm all right. I'm good. And then I'll start training or whatever. I'll never really do it in the gym. Okay, the last 2 times I've done it in the gym, but that's different. But it just got to the point, and we're talking like an 8-year period where, like, first of all, it would go, and then I'd be all right a couple of days later, and then another month it would go, and then I'll be out for a good week, and then it just progressively got longer and longer and longer. And we went through stages of going to the doctors, going to the hospitals, having MRI scans. I mean, we actually spoke about one of my MRI scans this morning, and I mean, this one was probably one of the first ones, and the specialist sat there and she was like, okay, so you see this part of your spine, that shouldn't look like that. And I was like, okay, but surely that's normal, right? And she's like, yeah, it's normal if you're 85. And I'm like,
oh, wow.
Brilliant. And I'm clearly not 85, so...
you look well if you are 85.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I think the last time it went... or the time before the last time it went, I was in the gym and I was on the leg press, and I was warm. I had 300 kilo on the leg press, which it's heavy-ish. It's not heavy. I can do a lot more. I could do a lot more. And I was warming up. I was about 4 sets in. I'd done probably 3 or 4 reps. Brought it down, and it just went. And I was like, right, okay. So I got the weight back up, and I was sat there for about 25 minutes. I had to get someone to come over and help me up. And then I said to the guys, like, can you pick my phone up? Do you know what I mean? It gets to that, I can't move. Hobbled over to reception, and I'm just like, look, mate, I can't take the weight off. I can't move. And I just went and sat in my car, I turned the heated seat on, and I just sat there. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in the world of pain. So I drove to the hospital, got in the hospital, and the triage nurse was just like, nah, you can't hurt yourself in the gym. And I'm like, I mean, you can. I have.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah. And that was one of, like, for me, I'm one of these people, and it was probably the army side in me. I'm one of these people that you get injured, you take your painkillers or whatever, and you crack on with it. That's my sort of mentality. Is I just, I've got to push through this. It is what it is. It's not that bad. I've been to hospitals, probably had 8, 9 MRIs. They're telling me I'm all right. Yeah. So as far as I know, you have to go for the physio and all that. But I mean, my missus, she's good as gold. She does everything for me. And she was like, look, you need to fight it. Like, you need to sort this out. This is something that's got to be done. So the last time we went was the last time I was really bad was like in lockdown when everyone was training at home. And I just had 2 30-kilo weights, and I was squatting. And as I come back up, I just felt it, and I was like, oh. And that was me done. And I was probably about a month, just couldn't move, help into the bath, help out the bath, helping getting my clothes on. Like, that's it, like, I just couldn't do anything. And so we pushed it this time, like really pushed it. And like, we need to find out what's going on. So, yeah, I mean, for the space of 8 years, I'd go through this process of just being in absolute agony for periods of time. Yeah. And it turns out I've got damage to my L5S1. I don't get any pain in my leg or my feet, so they know it's not nerve damage. And this is where it gets difficult. They won't operate because I don't want to make it worse.
Yeah.
So
they're quite scared. I guess if you say it's not nerve damage, but I guess they're erring on the side of caution in case it is. And like lower back, especially if there's a couple of conditions you can have with the nerves that if you even damage them slightly, that's it. You potentially could not walk, and then they're liable for that.
Yeah. So basically, at the moment, like I mean, now, like the chair, they've obviously all the disability stuff come in. I got a stick to start with, and I was hobbling about. They gave me crutches to start with, and I was like, I can't walk my life on crutches. I need hands to do something. And like, say, get on with the stick. So we had the stick for a little while, and like you walk for a couple of minutes, and I'm just like, I mean, my medication bag is big, like 5 medications a day, just for normal life. And then the hospital gave me a wheelchair, and I was like, right, we'll just go down this route. This is your only route. Is going to get worse, and you're probably never going to be better. You're always going to be in this condition because they won't operate. So I've got an osteopath as well that I see, and it's just more, you're never going to be fixed, but we can ease tension. And I mean, the army stepped in. The NHS wheelchair I had was awful. Like, you push it, you stop it.
Mate, they're just so clunky. Yeah. Like some of my guys have got wheelchairs that like you can pick up with your little finger. Like that's the sort of one you're going to want.
Now the army stepped in and they bought me a decent wheelchair.
Oh, nice.
$3.5 grand. I was just like,
they ain't cheap.
For cars that expensive. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what's crazy about the wheelchairs? I was having a chat with one of my clients the other day, and so you can get the attachment, like the electric, almost like electric scooter attachment. Mate, if you go and buy an electric scooter, you can buy one for about 200-300 quid. If you go and buy an attachment for your wheelchair, it's about 2-3 grand.
Yeah, it's mad.
Mate, it's insane. It's just capitalising on this big time.
It's crazy. But so I mean, that's the situation now. Like, I don't. Like if I'm going from like a very short distance, like 5-10 meters from a seated position to a seated position, I'll go in with my stick. So say I'm parked outside Costa, and I know it's only a 5 meter walk. I'll go with my stick. But any further than that, I'm in the chair. And to be fair, it's a game changer. It has changed my life massively. It's changed everything about our life massively. Like not for a negative, a massive positive. Like we can now. We've got kids, so we can now go on that family walk. I can go on that family walk with them and stuff like that. So, it's only a positive. It's huge benefit for us to be able.
Yeah, I think that's sometimes the thing that people look at, like especially like able-bodied folk. They'll look at someone in a wheelchair and go, "Oh man, like you're really restricted by this wheelchair, etc." It's like, hold up, no. It's the opposite. This thing gives me so much freedom, man.
Yeah, I'm not doing a cross-country track anytime soon, but yeah, freedom-wise, it's given us so much opportunity to be able to do something. Like we live quite close to Phoenix, so often we'll go up there. But now we can go up there for a longer period of time because I'm able to do that. So it has, it has given us such a better quality of life. We still have to plan things. There's stuff we can't do.
Oh, of course, yeah. If you go on like public transport trains and stuff, there's always that thing you've got to plan what station to get off at and all that sort of stuff. But
I'll tell you, we went to Winter Wonderland when that was on in London, but we drove right in. Parked in Knightsbridge and just wheeled in, like 5 minutes, wheel around the corner and we're there. And they were going to go. Like, it's a benefit. Honestly, they see us coming up and we had a big grass verge between us and the queue. So their security came out, pulled me up the grass verge, and then just unclipped the gate and pushed straight in front of everyone. I'm just like,
jumping queues. Listen, man, like, I've done this when I first started going out with like some of my guys. Like every now and then we'll like pop to Lakeside or we'll go shopping or something. And it did make me feel a bit awkward, especially during lockdown. When everyone was queuing for stuff, like I'd walk in with one of my guys with cerebral palsy and they'd like right straight to the front of the queue. I'm like, oh, no. And then all of a sudden, like I got a bit used to it. And I was like walking to the front of the queue before they even said, I went, we're going straight through.
Yeah, that's it. Honestly, like people are great. I'll be like, I'm very, I don't know if you see it, I'm covered in tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
So when I was like able.
I'm getting there, probably not as much as you. I've seen some of your tattoos,
I'm like, completely
covered. Yeah, I ain't gone that far yet.
Yeah,
little one on the chest,
that's about it. Done as well, all through here.
Nice.
To that. But like when I used to be able to walk about and stuff like that, people would look at you and be like, And now I see a completely different side. Everyone's nice. They all get out of your way. They all hold doors open for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we still have the moments where you get in the disabled space and they all look at you and then you pull your badge out and they're like, oh, okay, all right.
Fair play. We're not going to say anything.
Yeah, honestly. But yeah, it's got its benefits.
So how did you find that, like yourself in your mindset? Because obviously coming from like the being in the army, being very much like capable, like, getting stuck in, like to having to regress and go into a wheelchair. Did that affect you quite a lot mindset wise?
Yeah, massively, to be fair. Like, I mean, my son, he's 16, he's going to be 17 this year. So for me, it was like, I need to show him that it's all right. Like, how kids are. Like, he's 16, he's in year 11, his mates take the mick and stuff like that, which is fine. I'm good with that. He's good with that. You know what I mean? We deal with it, it's fine. And I know they don't mean anything, but, boys are boys and men are men. Everyone says something that they probably shouldn't say. But British humour, that's how we deal with things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think when I first got it, it was like the first outing in it was hard. You see people looking at you. But, I mean, even last week is a good example. We went into Ipswich Town and I was wheeling past a big issue lady. Now, she asked everyone, big issue, looked at me and went, and then looked at my missus and went, I'm sorry. What are you sorry for? It's lovely that you felt the need to do that, but why? But I mean, I deal with it fine. Now, it was quite a hard battle at first. It's like your life is changing. There's a lot of limitations. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not running anytime soon. I'm not going down that hill because I can't get down it. Like we go places and then there's steps and like my gym I go to doesn't have disabled access. We have to go in, lift the chair over and then hobble through the turnstile and then get back in the chair. So things like that. And to be fair, a lot of the gyms I've been to are the same. We went to Rip Gym Basildon, which is obviously where you said you saw me. And I can't fault them at all. They were phenomenal. They were brilliant.
Yeah. Like
literally the best place I've been to. They was like, we'll open the side doors for you, get you in. I can't fault them enough. They were phenomenal. Like they were absolutely brilliant. But yeah, I think it's a hard one. Like I feel like I'm quite a strong character. I don't think that a lot of stuff really gets to me. And again, I think that's a lot of the army humour coming out. Like when we was in at a very busy time. I mean, like, I was in 2007 to the end of 2011, and everything was going on. So it was, you know, you would joke with your mates about when you go away and stuff like that, and not coming back or coming back with bits missing, and that was how you dealt with things. And people who watch this will be like, "That's a weird way to deal with it," but that's how you dealt with it.
No, I completely agree with you. I think that's the best way to deal with it, because, you know, like, you've got to make light of these situations. Otherwise,
exactly.
You're going to sit there and wallow in that pity and self-pity, which is never good.
But that's it. I mean, we've had days where, like, real bad days where I'm not moving and I can't move, and you know, one thing I always go back to is on our sofa. I can't sit on the right side of our sofa because I get stuck. She has to pull me up. Like in bed, I can't turn over properly. She has to pull me over. So they're little things that people never get. People see me and they're like, you know, a lot of people have said, "Oh, you know, it's brilliant. You're still training. It's great." They don't see the hard parts behind it. They don't see the struggles of, like, I can't get off the sofa, or if I'm on the left-hand side of the sofa, it's a lot easier. I don't know why I just get stuck on the right. It's just something that happens. Or the days where I can't get in and out of the bath on my own, I need help.
Yeah.
Something as simple as putting your socks on.
Mate, I think it's the little things that people take for granted. Like, I was watching a girl that's in a wheelchair. I can't remember the name for the life of me, but I see it a little while ago, and she simply put a video of herself putting her trousers on. Mate, it took her like 3-4 minutes. Like, I take that for granted. Like, I open my eyes, boom, jump, the trousers are beside my bed. I bang them on, right, I'm going to work.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing is, like, you don't see them little things, like even nipping to the toilet. I'm going to nip to the toilet. It's not the case of just, you know, going for a wee. It's the case of there's a lot more involved and a lot more mechanics behind it.
I'll tell you the hardest thing we find now is probably public toilets, and you need a radar key for disabled access on toilets. Yeah. So you Google radar, how do I get a radar key? You Google it, and there's about 300 you can get. So I don't know what one I want. So that's another thing. So, you know, it's great that they have access to disabled toilets and stuff like that. And I get that you need a key because anyone would use them. Yeah. Which is great. I quite like it when someone not disabled comes out of a disabled toilet and I'm sitting there like, mate, sorry. I quite like making people feel uncomfortable. Because, again, that's what I do. Like, before I got my disabled badge, because obviously you have to apply for that.
Yeah.
And, we went to IKEA up your end, actually.
Oh, okay, Lakeside.
Yes, yeah. So we parked, found a space that's close, and there was this woman. She was loading her car, and she turned around and she was like, she's like, "Oh, out of all the effing spaces, you want this one?" And I was like, "All right." I was like,
"Wait, was you driving at the time?"
Driving, yeah.
Right, yeah.
I had my window, so it was like summer, I had windows open. She's like, "I have all the effing space."
And of course, she sees a guy, a big beard, tattoos,
exactly that. So I was like, "Oh, you'll see in a minute." So, like, my missus got the wheelchair out, and I got in, and she hid behind her car. And I was like, "Nah, you're seeing this." So I wheeled around. I was like, "You feel bad now, don't you?" And she was like, "Well, why aren't you in that bay?" I said, "Well, why aren't you in a loading bay? There's plenty of them." And she was like, "Oh." And I was like, "You're not even apologise." She's like, "Well, I am sorry." I was like, "You're not." But
you're sorry because you got caught out. That's simply it. You're not sorry.
That's brilliant. I was just like, oh, for the rest of the day, she probably felt awful.
Mate, I would have loved to have seen that.
Oh, I was cracking up. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, I mean, there's little moments you can make light of it.
Exactly. But my mindset, you know, my mind's always been quite positive. Like, I think, if anything, it's helped me push forward more. Like, when I done my bicep, I was like, okay, I had to have 4 months off the gym. I had this thing on night and day for 8 weeks. Couldn't train. And it was a case of that made me fall in love with the gym again. That made me, fall in love with the gym again. And that brought my passion back for training. And then obviously when I rested for 4 months, I was like, okay. And then obviously I'm in the situation I'm in now in the chair. And again, I think if anything, it's spurred me on to just push forward to stuff that actually people in my position haven't got. Yeah. So that brought us on to the whole wheelchair bodybuilding. Like, I had a friend, Darren, who had ataxia, which is a brain disease. And
I've got a client with cerebellar ataxia. Yeah, so it's a degenerative disorder. Yeah.
He was in a chair, and I mean, we went to he was a wheelchair bodybuilder when UKBFF was over here, and he technically got his pro card, but it was never going to get signed in this country because we never had the wheelchair category. So going forward with that, like he passed away in the first lockdown. But we went to Hungary together and competed for WABA. And I just thought, you know what, this is what we're lacking. Like, we don't have that over here. They've got it in
the UK doesn't. The UK, hence why I'm doing what I'm doing as well. Like, the UK doesn't have that adaptive. It's starting to, like, in America, you can see with the CrossFit, like, adaptive athletes is becoming huge.
100%. And to be fair, like, the whole CrossFit scene over here, I follow a couple of people who do wheelchair CrossFit, and it is a lot bigger. Like, so the bodybuilding scene for wheelchair athletes, I mean, it's big, but we don't talk about it. No one talks about it. And you know, rightly so, if it doesn't affect anyone, you're not going to talk about that. It obviously now affects me. So I thought, right, we need to try and make this change. And that's where we are at the moment. Chris jumped on board, and I mean, he's been phenomenal, to be fair. I mean, he's got a massive outreach compared to what I've got. And when he jumped on board, like, people started taking note. Like, we reached out to the right people. And yeah, I mean, it's been confirmed the show is going to happen. They've told us the show, but it's not public knowledge.
Yeah.
So it's all been submitted. We had to go the hard way. We had to prove that people wanted to be involved in it. But my argument was always that this show is at the Olympia. So it's there. You're never going to have a British athlete compete because we don't have the means to do it. We have to go abroad. The last wheelchair pro in this country was Dan Smith, and he had to go to Poland to get his pro card. And he's retired now. So it tells you how long ago that was. So, I mean, we have fought for months to get in the position that we're in. And yeah, it's going ahead. So it's happening. So it's been working. Have
you got a date for the show then?
I have, yeah, but I can't say.
I know you can't say too much. Listen, I want to get all the after this podcast. I want to get all the information, because I'd love to come along and watch and everything. So
basically, I have to speak to,
and then I can start spreading out some messages. I won't tell the date though.
Yeah, we have to speak to Nick Scott, who is the director or the owner of WCBB in America, so wheelchair bodybuilding, and he basically puts on all the IFBB shows. So anyone that gets a pro card will be involved with him. And for me personally, it was never about me competing. Like, I genuinely thought this was going to take years to happen. And we managed to do it in a period of months, and it was a hard battle to get it. We had to prove that it was marketable, which I understand, but at the same time, I'm like, no one's ever opened a bodybuilding show and gone, is it marketable to a normal person?
Yeah.
It's just one of those fights that should never have really had to take place. And for me, it was always about, if I don't compete, but I've opened doors for the people behind me to be able to do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been told. I phoned Nick 2 weeks ago, and he's like, right, okay, this is the show. And I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, this year? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, fuck.
I'm like, I didn't really want to compete this year. And he's like, well, this is what I mean. Like, I told you I moved fast, and now you don't want to do it. I'm like, no, we'll do it. We'll do it. But to be fair, I mean, between me and Chris, we got a lot of guys. I think we've got 9 guys competing.
Decent.
And I think we've got 7 women competing.
Amazing.
You've got to take
7 women. That's a decent. Like, it's a lot harder.
Honestly.
I found in disability sports or like adaptive training or anything to get women involved. It's predominantly, from what I've seen anyway, my personal experience, men.
Yeah, I know of 1 female bodybuilder pro in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
1. And I've got, me and Chris have now got, I'm sure the number's 7. So it's like, do you know what I mean? We've 7 times what you've already got.
Yeah.
And now she's got competition. I'm not saying all these people are going to get the pro cards, but it's opened the door for us to be involved with the IFBB. And that's what we were lacking in this country. I know you've got other federations that do mixed disability. PCA are phenomenal for it. They're great. You've got like Pure Elite, they do one as well. And it's fantastic. Or FitX do one as well. And it's brilliant. It's great. But you can get a pro card with them, but you can't. It's never taking you to the Olympia. It's never taking you to the professional leagues of the IFBB, which is where, if you're involved in bodybuilding, that's where you want to be. If you compete, that's where you want to be. So we've opened the doors for that to happen now, and it's, you know, that's something that's unreal. To be fair, I don't think it's really sunk in actually how we've completely made bodybuilding history with doing this, because it's never happened over it. And like everyone involved, or everyone that signed a petition, or everyone that was like, I mean, my missus, she's put up with a lot of crap. Me, like, constantly on my phone, 11, 12 at night, like, trying to get this happening and speaking to people. Because obviously Nick Scott's in America, so he's eight hours behind us. So when it's like normal time for him, it's like midnight for me, and we're talking to each other, and I'm just like, oh man.
Oh, man, I know organising podcasts sometimes. I've spoken to a couple of guys in the States, and it's like trying to organise the times and stuff. And I did mess up once, like, where it's like the time when the clocks went back, and it was like, oh wait, it's not quite done that in America yet. So it's like, oh my God, the times were
exactly that. But yeah, so I mean, like, people are like, oh, what you've done is phenomenal. What, you know, you've created this, and it's like, yeah, we've done it. We've actually changed the world, or this country's history of bodybuilding. And, you know, when we first started it, like, we had people saying, or like I had people saying to me, you're never going to change it. It will never change.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you start thinking, you know, maybe they're right. Like, the fights that we had to go through, maybe you're right, maybe it isn't going to happen. And then you'll get a little build up, and then you'll get knocked down again, and then you just be like, you know, is this going to happen? And then, you know, it did, and it should have, rightly so, it should have.
Listen, man, I love that sort of stuff. I love it when people turn around and go, I don't think you're going to be able to do this. I don't think it's going to work. And you're like, okay, challenge accepted.
Well, that's another thing. Like,
let's go.
I just wanted to show my boy, like, do you know what? Just this, if anything, let's look at it as a positive. You know, I'm, you know, your dad's not going to get up and run, but I've changed what is in the UK. I've now changed that.
Yeah, so and I think that's so cool, man. To have to be one of the first people to have that stamp, and your name's going to be on that. If you look back, like I don't know, so like the Paralympics, how the Paralympics come back, it was a doctor, Dr. Gutman. So what he did is he when like people was coming out of like the World War II, they was injured, like legs blown off, paralysed, etc. He started to develop these people, so getting them out of bed, getting them off medication, getting them training, and just doing like general sports. And off the backs of that, so what he done is he put a competition together of archery, and had some of the guys that he rehabilitated compete at the Olympics. And then that's how the Olympics was developed, just because this guy wanted to help and it's such a small thing at the time.
Crazy,
and like this now, it's not made a massive splash, but the ripple effect after 100%. What you've done is just going to echo out, and I think, yeah, like looking in 10 years time, I'd be excited to see. And that's one of the massive reasons I wanted to keep on, because I was like, yeah, this is cool. This hasn't been done yet. Like, this is something that needs to be done, and I feel like this message needs to be spread.
I think something for me that pushed me on as well was, obviously I was in the army, and we had the Invictus Games. Yeah. So Prince Harry decided to do the Invictus Games. So it was one of my friends who I was in the same battalion as, Alex Tate. Now, I mean, he won a medal, and not only he won the first ever gold medal in Invictus Games. And do you know what I mean? That can never be taken away from him. It's not I've won a gold medal, it's I've won the first ever one. Gold medal in Invictus Games. It's like, that's, now for me, I want to be like, again, even if I wasn't to compete, I've opened a door, and just to say, you know what, we did that, I did that. Yeah. I made that happen. So like you say, even if it's 10 years, and I just think the more people that see it, because now it's going to happen. We've been told it's going to happen, and we've got it in writing, it's going to happen. Yeah. So, I mean, it will look pretty bad if it doesn't happen.
And you've said it's going to happen like 10 times now. So, well, I mean, this podcast is going out next week, though.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I've got it in writing from the people at the top saying it's going to happen. So, you know, I mean, for them to... I suppose
you're still in that little state of disbelief, though. It's like, it's going to happen, but is it going to happen?
I mean, I know, like, we're all training.
Because it's so surreal.
Yeah, we've been told, like, train for it, it's all been submitted.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to happen. Okay, so perfect example, last pro show that was put on for wheelchairs had 6 athletes. We've got 9. So, you know, we've got 3 more than they had in their last pro show. So it you know, and that's through me and Chris.
And this is the first one.
exactly. So you know, I think what I was going for, I wanted to have, and when they say show me it's marketable, it's not marketable if you've got 25 shows and you put one wheelchair category on in every one. That's not marketable because you might only get one athlete at each one, and I get that. So we never went for that. We was like, just give us one show to aim at, and then you've got 9 guys, 7 women to aim for that show. So even if you have 5 guys that are ready, they're going to compete because there's not another show. So, I mean, all these guys we've spoke to over and over again, and that was the hardest part, is we had to do the chasing around. It's like, so I'm looking for guys in wheelchairs around the country, and that's hard. Like, what do you search for? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not easy to do that.
And it's quite tough as well, like reaching out to people. I guess it's you almost worry, like you don't want to offend anyone. Same with myself, because obviously I'm not in a wheelchair, I've not got a disability or anything. And for me to sometimes reach out to people and be like, look, this is what I do. I feel like not like being poaching people or anything, or like whatever, but like, this is what I do. Do you want to join in? Do you want to get involved? Like, I know there's nothing really out there like this. So this is like going to be awesome for yourself. And same with getting people on the podcast. But you know what? I've never been met with any sort of like resistance, or every single person I've spoke to in the adaptive like field, I've said like, do you want to, okay, when you're free.
And 100%,
okay,
because
cool.
It's people like you that are helping people like us.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have that. We have to help ourselves for everything. Like, if we want anything that we shouldn't have to fight for, it's always a battle. So it's people like yourself that are out there 100% helping us. So, I mean, I'm hard to offend. Like, I had someone a little while ago say to me, that he got back issues, and he said to me, I was talking about like mine and how I'm in a chair, and he's like, oh, it's giving up, innit? Like, what? He's like, having a wheelchair is giving up. I'm sitting right in front of you, dude. I mean, it's not giving up, it's giving me a new way of life. And that's what it is. People, and to be fair, when I was first told, actually, you need a wheelchair, that was probably not my mindset. It was like, really? Like, okay, is this how I'm going to be going forward? And I know things affect people in different ways, like, and I've seen it firsthand in the army, like where people have lost legs or lost limbs or been blown up and stuff like that. And, you know, I don't know anyone who's come out of the army that hasn't psychologically got an issue somewhere deep down or right in front of their face. It's on display every day, or something can bring it out. But I think people look at things like this guy, and he's a friend. And I know when he said it, he didn't mean anything by it. But in his head, that's how he sees it.
Yeah.
And in my head, I mean, I've been in the chair now for a while. So in my head, I was like, you know, you say that in front of anybody else and they might take that to offense. But me, I know you haven't meant it like that. And I know you haven't personally gone, you've given up. But I don't have a choice. I mean, my choice and everyone else in a wheelchair, their choice wouldn't be to be in a wheelchair. Their choice would be to be able to stand up and have a run and go and train legs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I never used to like training legs anyway. I never used to like running on that matter. So when they're like, oh, you're in a wheelchair, it's like, well, I ain't gonna worry about that anymore.
No one's giving you abuse for skipping leg day anymore.
Negative. And then you're like, oh, yeah, actually, I've got steps in my house. I need to sort that out as well.
So are you in a bungalow at the moment, or you got stairs?
I'm not. No, we've got stairs. To be fair, we had occupational health come round, and they're like, right, we're going to put a railing up. I'm like, you're not. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, so they wanted to put a railing up. They wanted to make the toilet easier for you to get in and out of. And I'm just like, I don't want it. I've got my kids living it. I don't need to see it every day. They have their friends around. They don't need to see it every day. So I'm good. My missus helps me more than I could ever even ask for. Do you know what I mean? She has literally been my rock through the whole process. And it's not my life that's affected as well. It's her life. It's my kids' life. You know, this has affected all of our lives quite a lot. But, you know, they've been brilliant. I couldn't ask better. And so, yeah, but, you know, they come around and they want to change everything in your house. And I'm like, do you know what? I'm all right. I'd rather struggle than my kids have to see that. So, Yeah,
No, that's it, man. If you can cope without it, like
yeah,
it's not a
the
rule
only
that you
thing I
need
accepted
it.
was a bath board just to help me get in and out,
Mm.
and I'm still waiting on it. I'm like, right, so where is it?
So yeah, you said you're going to do this, and now you're
Yeah,
not there.
yeah.
But
So,
no, I think you're absolutely right. Like in that respect. So like many conversations I've had about this sort of thing before is like if you go to the doctors, like say for example, your nan goes to the doctors, right? She says, oh, I'm struggling getting out of my chair. What would I do? Okay, I'll tell you what. Take this cushion. Sit on this cushion. It'll bring you up a little bit higher. Okay, cool. 6 months later, she goes back. Right, I'm struggling getting up still. Right, okay. Have another cushion or get a bigger cushion. Right, fantastic. There we go. Now it's easier to get up. Right, okay. 6 months later down the road, right, I can't get up with these cushions. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. We'll get you a chair that actually lifts you up. So what we're doing, we're basically helping these people to regress and like, do you see what I mean? Like rather than going, I'll tell you what, Ethel, go down the gym.
yeah, exactly.
Let's start doing some squats. Like you can squat. You're 80, you're 90, you can still squat. Listen, I've seen a 95-year-old do 10 pull-ups, like full range of motion pull-ups, and he was a big lad. Like you can do it, and that's the thing I think with the NHS, and I think there's an important thing at the moment was like it's getting tough because they're so easy to give out these. I can't even think of the word, like the pills, the aids and all these sort of stuff, rather than sort of pushing someone in the right direction. I'll tell you what, rather than spending 6 months on this medication, we'll give you the medication, but go and see this coach, go and see this person, this physio, someone that can help you get better. And I'll tell you what, then come back and we'll reassess. But it's not that at the moment. It's almost like you're going into there and it's take this medication, come back in 6 months. Okay, the pain's getting worse here, I'll take this.
It's an easy option.
Yeah, it is an easy option. And this is not me having to dig at anyone. This is just how the system's unfolded, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a cost-effective option as well. Take this medication or take this pillow, take this medication, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
And this is why we had the battle for 8 years. And it's like if someone just put the time and effort in the first place to realise actually your spine is damaged, then we could. I mean, I've had NHS spinal specialist and private, and to be fair, they both said the same thing. So, because we went down the private route as well, it wasn't any different. They both turned around and said to me, "You obviously train. If you didn't train, you would be in a lot worse situation." And that for me, like, because everyone now say, "Oh, do it in the gym." It's like, no. I mean, I don't think you can do this in the gym. Like, what do you think happened? But yeah, I mean, they both said the same, and that for me was what I needed to hear. Because if they turn around and goes like, "You can't train," I'm the kind of person that's a bit like, "Well, I'll prove you wrong on that anyway. I'm still going to train." For me, the gym I need it.
Yeah,
like it's more therapy as well. If I don't train for a period, like, for the lockdowns, for example, like people are training at home, but they can only train a certain amount at home. But
you're training your own as well. It's a lot of the community aspect behind it, which is
100%.
a huge thing.
For me, the gym is a nice social aspect. It's a nice, but when I'm training, it's almost like a therapy. It's like if I don't do this, I'm not happy within myself. I don't really do anything else. For me, like me and my missus will go out for a nice meal or something like that, but I don't go out clubbing and stuff. I'm old. I don't do that. So people do that, or they have their holidays and they go on a lads holiday and stuff like that. For me, a holiday is I'm going on holiday, I'm chilling out, I'm sitting by the pool and I'm relaxing. But that for me is like the gym as well. I need that in my life where I'm going, I'm training, I'm putting everything into that hour and a half, and then I'm good. If I don't do that, so I don't do that for a week, like you feel your mood coming down.
Oh, absolutely.
Everything else coming up. You find yourself getting agitated by little things, or, like just trying to get around, you find yourself getting agitated by things. And, stuff like that. And it's just like, so for me, the gym is therapeutic. And I know a lot of people would say the same, like, people, when all the gyms closed in the lockdown, you had the guys in certain gyms that refused to close. And fair play to them, fantastic. And a lot of them, when they paid their fines, I read about one guy had £46,000 worth of fines, and they all got whacked.
Oh, okay, fair play.
So, mental health, and I think that's one thing in this country we don't push forward on. We the lockdowns are probably the best example of anything. It's like, I can still go and get a McDonald's. I can still go and get a KFC. I can still go and get Burger King.
Mate, you're preaching to the choir. It was literally like, I was looking at this.
I'm not allowed to go and make myself mentally and physically fit.
Like, you can't go to the gym and exercise, but you can go and get like kebab for jab or whatever it was at the time.
Exactly. So, you know, a lot of people suffered. And, you know, I mean, for myself, like, I need that. I need, you know, we have a Saturday after gym, and sometimes have a Wednesday after gym. So I'd like to try and make 5-6 times a week. But when that's not happening, everything's, you know, and in my position, I have to have a back or a chest support. I can't really do anything that hasn't got that. So,
and the thing is, during lockdown, all the prices went up. So, like, for a lot of people, it was like, you couldn't just go out and buy it. Like, I mean, lucky enough, like, I have a home gym set up. So it's not a massive place. It's like a garage with like some dumbbells, some weights, but I've got enough weight to do whatever I want to do with it.
Yeah.
I could have took it over the field.
Yeah, we bought 10 kilo dumbbells from a company that specifically makes gym equipment. And we bought 30 kilo dumbbells. We had bands, we had smaller dumbbells as well. But I remember telling a mate about the 30 kilo dumbbells and how much I paid for them. And we went on the website where I got them from, and they'd added 150 quid on them just through the lockdown. And I was like, but everything did go up in price. You know, if you wanted to make a bit of money in the lockdowns, that's what you done. You sold your gym equipment.
Yeah, I did see a few companies sort of spring up out of nowhere, done very well during lockdown. That was like a massive boost for them. For me, it was tough for me, like, being a personal trainer. Like, this is what I do for a full-time job, and for me to see a lot of my clients, and to say a lot of my clients are vulnerable, a lot of my clients do have disabilities, and like a week out of a month out of training for them is like 6 months out of training for like someone like myself, because their physiology, that, like, it all, like, you know yourself, like, you have to go and see an osteopath because otherwise you'll be in agony. But they're just releasing little things, and that's the thing. Like, after a couple of weeks, that they're screwed. This is the first time I'm actually going to talk about this on social media at all, or like podcast or whatever. I did continue running my boot camps outside. However, I've done it slightly different. So so when the lockdown first happened, it was like, right, you can't. No, it was the second lockdown. Was it the second lockdown? Yeah, second lockdown. So I went, right, guys, look, I can't do this anymore. I know you guys want to train, and it's not viable for you to go over the field on your own at night. It's not safe, right? So we can meet in pairs. You can go and meet a pair. You can go and train outside. I said, to tell you what, we've got two choices. We can either take this all online, or we can play a game called Walkie Talkie Boot Camp. They went, right, okay, go on. I went, right, if you guys are up for this, we'll do it. I went, I'll go and buy a load of walkie-talkies. I'll go and buy a load of industrial lights, and I'll go and buy a load of equipment. And they went, yeah, let's go for it. So essentially every night or every boot camp, I would give a list. You'd be assigned your pair, and there'll be like a care package around the field. And I'd sit in the class, in the car park, and run the class from there. And everyone just matched in pairs. Mate, it was epic. Like, I didn't know anyone else that done it. So I was like, I'm operating slightly on the side of like the grey area here, but I'm not technically breaking the laws.
Because you and yourself have actually taken it on board. Like, yeah, right, look, that's your job as well, so you're making money from it, but that's not why you've done it. You've done it. No, mate,
if I got fined, I'd have swallowed the fine. Fine because I knew that I wanted to make sure these guys were getting out and about and training. And and I love that. The change that made for their life, like after lockdown, like stopped, they went like, Jesus, thank you so much for doing that. Like, I was gonna, like, me and the missus gonna kill each other if I couldn't get out of the house for an hour a couple of times a week.
And that's brilliant, and that's what it needs. It needs more people like that to be like, you know what, like, it was always going to be. I mean, now you look at what's happening. It's gone from a government mandate, and I know we're completely changing the subject of why we do the podcast, but it's gone from a government mandate to your family's discretion. It's like, what? That's weird. So it's like, you can't leave the house. I think in the next couple of weeks, if you test positive, you haven't got to isolate.
Yeah. So it's basically scrapped at the end of this month. So it's like,
and you think, hang on a minute, you've gone from I'm not allowed to talk to anyone to it's up to myself. So yeah, it's weird. Anyway, yeah, we well digressed then. But,
that's fine. Yeah, let's get rid of lockdown talk. Let's stop talking about that.
That's it. I bet everyone's learned well too much of that.
Yeah. Cool. So
go on.
Oh, no, I was just going to ask you a couple more questions. I was going to go for a couple of things. So for yourself, like as a bodybuilder, so what does your sort of day-to-day like look like? What is your morning routine? So obviously a lot of people do follow like your bodybuilders that get up and that sort of stuff. So how different does that look for yourself?
Well, for me, I'm vegan as well.
Okay.
Just because I like to make
just making it even harder for yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, so everyone's like, "Oh, you chicken and rice." It's like, no,
tofu and tofu and lentils.
Yeah, exactly. No, for me, to be fair, at the minute, I'm on sort of 5-6 meals a day, and obviously because I wasn't expecting to be competing this year, I didn't really pay much attention to diet and everything at the moment. And then when he said it's this year, I was like, "Oh, okay, we need to up training, we need to up food." So yeah, at the moment it's 5-6 meals a day. Probably still not enough. Like portion size, I'll probably still need to make a little bit more happen. But I'm happy with where I'm sitting at the moment. You know, like, don't get me wrong, there's guys out there, wheelchair bodybuilders, like you look at Harold Kelly, who is currently Mr. Olympia, 4 times Mr. Olympia wheelchair, and he's massive. And we are talking some serious size. So, you know, I'm not going to go and compete with the likes of that at the moment. But as I say, I was expecting a good year ahead of me, a nice bulk phase, and then cut into show. So yeah, you know, I'm taking it seriously. As from when I got told, it was this year, I was like, okay, brilliant. So we've upped everything that we need to up. Training's intensified a lot, and I train with my missus, and I have to say to her, just don't, you know, push. We need more of a push. You need to swear at me, shout at me. I need to get that rep up, because I mean, we all go through training, and after training we think, I probably could have done more. But I'm happy with what I've done, but I probably could have done more. So if anything, we've just made it so the training's more intensified, and we've pushed food up. So, you know, I eat every 3 hours, or I try to eat every 3 hours. I think for me, when I don't go to work, that's when I fall apart a bit.
Yeah, because you've lost that routine.
100%. Like at the moment, I get up, I eat, get to work. I know my time I'm going to eat when I'm at work. And then 3 hours later, I know I'm going to eat again. I get home and I'll eat again, and I'll eat again. And I up before and after I train, and then I'll have something before I sleep. So when I'm not at work, it's a bit like, can I be bothered? I'll have a lay in. So that's probably my biggest issue I need to start to look at overcoming. And I mean, we get married in May, so this is another reason I didn't really want to compete this year. It was like, oh, well, we've got a lot on this year as it is. So, you know, coaching wise at the moment is not an option, because we've got this wedding in May. But I've spoke to the coach that I'm going to use, and, you know, we spoke a while ago, and we was like, look, we'll have a full year. And then we're seeing, I was like, I texted him about that. I was like,
I need to go on your super duper fast track program.
We are going straight into prep. So from May, you got May, June, July, August. So we get married at the end of May. So we've got June, July, August, September. And with that, I've kind of told you when the show is. So you can kind of look at what shows are there.
I can edit that out if you want.
Yeah. Nah, you're good. I've got it in writing. They can't take it off. I mean, they might ban me, but they can't take it off. So,
no, that's cool, man. Like, you know, you say like you got to get this in routine. Like, I think, like, yeah, it's moving fast. This could evolve into your full-time job. Like, what is it you do at the moment, if you don't mind me asking?
I run a garage. So my brother owns a company, and obviously, but I'm a barber by trade, but
cool.
I can't do that. So I run my brother's garage in Essex. He was nice enough to say, look, if you want this, it's there. And then lockdowns happened, and we had a little shuffle up staff, and I've gone into a job that I know nothing about, and now I run his whole garage. So, you know, it's nice enough that he's turned around and trusted me to do that, and given me the opportunities in the situation that I'm in. That's what I can do. So I'm in an office, so wheel in, wheel out, hand the work to the people that have got to do the work, and they're good as gold. You know, like, again, it's that team of men where we all take the mickey out of each other. So, you know, it's the environment I want to be in. Like, it's a good environment. I don't really know anything about cars, so don't ask me anything about cars. But yeah, I run it's crash repair centre, so we do body work, insurance work, stuff like that. So that's where I am. Yeah.
So do you think with the bodybuilding stuff that could evolve into a career? Because I mean, it definitely could.
You know, like, it's a funny one, isn't it? Like, again, this whole thing for me wasn't about me competing. It was about opening the door for other people in my position that want to compete. the more I'm looking at competing, the more I think, well, actually, you know, if it's a pro show, who's saying I can't get a pro card? You know, me as my size, as able-bodied, out of the question, it was never going to happen. But if I can pull in with the right condition in this, there's nothing saying it can't happen. You know, there's guys out there who are competing in this show that are in phenomenal shape, that look great. And I think over the years that I've competed as able-bodied people, like, you know, I look at people. I think one of my biggest problems going into competition was I'd always look at my competition. And my last show in 2015, I know it seems a long time ago, but I done classic bodybuilding. So a good height to weight ratio. I never wanted to be massive. It was a height to weight ratio. You had to fit that category. And I remember looking at the guys that I was going up against, and I was looking at all their Instagram pictures leading up to the actual event. And I was like, my God, this guy, look at him, look at him, look at him. And when I got next to him, I'm like, do you know what? Like, I think
with the right lighting and the right pump on.
Exactly. Social media, you're never posting a bad picture. You're posting a picture to make you look phenomenal.
Absolutely.
With my social media, you know, people are going to look for Michelle Bothamley, because that's the name it says on your podcast. That's clearly not me. Yeah, like my social media, I've never edited a photo. Everything you see that's how I look. You know, I might make it black and white or whatever, but I would never go in and try and make myself look bigger, because people see me, they know that's not me. You know, like, don't
want to be doing no catfishing, man.
No, exactly. So, but yeah, you know, like for me, you know, it's not really even crossed my mind that I could potentially go down that. You know, I'll compete this year, I'll compete next year, and if it happens, it happens. You know, it's not in my head, oh, I'm gonna fight for it. Like, I'm gonna go in my best. And you know, I put 100% into every single bit of prep. In my head, I wanted another year so I could go in really, really well. But you know, like, since we've upped food and up training, I was looking at myself the other day and I was thinking, oh, what, I look all right. Like, I reckon I look all right. So, you know, we'll see. You know, if they turn around at the end of it and go, yeah, you know, you've won, brilliant. If they don't, brilliant. I've opened that door for someone else.
You sound very humble. I don't feel like you'd be like celebrating or anything. Like, if you actually won, you'd be like, oh, have I? Oh, okay, fair play.
Yeah, do you know what?
Cheers, bro.
It'll probably be like, you've won. I'll be like, oh, I've got to compete again. That sort of thing. It. Do you know what? No, it'd be phenomenal. I'd love it. Like, I know a couple of pros. You know, IFBB pros. I was talking to one today, and you know, he's so humble with it, and he's phenomenal. He's a very, very well-known, good bodybuilder. You know, but you speak to him, and you just think, God, man, you're so down to earth. Like, he's competing at the Arnold's in Ohio 3 weeks, and he looks phenomenal. And you know, you're just like, you know what? Like, I like your mindset to everything you put in. 100% in the gym, 100% on your food. And then I think, God, if I was a pro, would I put in 100% in the gym? Would I put in 100% in my food? Like, you know, I competed 2013 twice, done WABA, and then I've done WABA Worlds in Hungary. And then I've done UK BFF over here. And I look back and I think, I had to go from competing, then I've done the World Championships, and I weren't really ready for that step up. I was like eating crap or leading up to it because I couldn't get my head around that diet. And then it was a gap of 2 years before I competed again, because I thought I needed to feel like, right, I need to do this. But yeah, and then that's the mindset I'm in now. Like, when it's happening, that I'm 100% into this now. Like, we're ready for this. So, you know, that's why we've upped everything. But yeah, like, you know, potentially the guys that are in the category of us, you look at them and you think, yeah, you're in good shape. You look really good, or you look really good, but you don't know how they're going to turn up on a day. You don't know. Again, it's a social media aspect. We're looking at their social media. I don't know these people personally. Yeah, apart from Chris, you know, me and Chris, we talk a lot daily. I've never seen Chris's physique.
Yeah, to be fair, he's never put his. Yeah, I've never. What's he doing? Is it being sneaky about it?
He's like, I'm saying coming up to a show, and I'm like, oh, damn it, I need to see what's happening.
I don't know whether to be worried or not.
He's strong. He's strong. He just done I think he's going for a 400 kilo seated deadlift at the moment.
Yeah.
And then one of his friends, Dave, who is the second, I believe he's the second world's strongest man, seated man and he's just on a 610.
Wow.
How do you even put on a bar? Do you know what I mean?
So for me, I do explore a lot of these adaptive movements. I felt a bit of being a bit of a div at first when I was doing it, but I was like, no, I need to do this. It's my job. I need to explore this. So doing like one arm burpees and stuff, and like, man, it's hard. Anyway, so I've never really explored what weight I could lift on a seated deadlift, but yeah, and it's quite an awkward one, the seated deadlift.
I can't do it. Yeah. That's my issue leaning forward, so I can't.
Yeah. So have you've got quite limited hip function, right, due to the issue of leaning forward, etc.
It's that whole. Okay, so when I say I can't do it, I could probably do it.
I'm not going to reg you on, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's probably more of a battle in here.
Yeah,
like that's all my issues. When I lift, I need chest support. I know when I lift, I need back support. Like that's when my issue tends to really play up. If I haven't got any of those. So for me, holding a weight, leaning forward and putting up, mine is all my lower spine. So that's where my main issue is. You know, it hurts a lot with compression. So when I'm training shoulders or mainly just shoulder press, compression wise on that. But if I want to build shoulders, I've got to do that. For me, I'm in a wheelchair. My lower back isn't really going to be on show. So I don't worry about the deadlift side of things. It's a movement I wouldn't even try, just purely because I know the pain that I'm going to be in that for probably a good month after. Yeah,
it's probably more for yourself in regards to that area. It's like more balance and symmetry. So like not because the problem is if you become super strong here, then your lower back's going to suffer. So it's like
exactly that.
Maybe a case of just like reducing the weight and just going more for that accumulative load rather than going for like them.
Yeah. It's for me. It's like. I mean, I know my issue with my left bicep doesn't look like my right bicep. It's not it's been ripped off the bone, surgically put back on. So we work around that.
Yeah.
So we look at poses differently. You have your mandatory poses you have to do. Let's hope they concentrate more on my right one when they're looking at it. But in the posing routine, we just won't use that arm. We'll put that behind the head and do it with that. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So we can work around it. Triceps are quite pleasing. So arm out stuff, we just take the eyes away from the left bicep more than we would the right. So, but again, mandatory poses, you have no choice. Yeah. But there's a guy actually coming over from Germany to compete in our show, which is phenomenal because we've actually gone from looking for people in the UK to compete in the first wheelchair show.
Mate, people will travel. If you're offering something that no one else is, people will travel for that hours.
And when he said to me he's in Germany, I'm like, listen, this show is history making. It's never happened. And he's like, I'm in. And I was like, oh, what? He's like, yeah, I'm in. I told him what show it was, and he was like, yeah, I'm definitely in. So that's the big. I'll tell you what show it is after this, but I can't. It's not. It's they've confirmed it with me. They confirmed it with Chris.
No, but you got to make sure it's all like legit.
The guys and girls that are competing, it's all confirmed with them. Nick Scott's got in touch with all of them as well and said, "Are you competing?" Yes, he's done the research. We've done everything we need to do, and then he's confirmed. For him, I could have made all these names up. And there'll be me and Chris on stage. Do you know what I mean?
Just coming out in different costumes.
Yes. But I always said to Chris, I said, look, if we don't get it in the next 2 years, how do you feel about just wheeling on at a show? It's like 100%. So I was like, yeah, wicked, same, good. So how bad are they going to look having to fight two guys in a wheelchair off stage? So it looks terrible. I was like, we're dying for it. We'll look good. But yeah, but no, we got it. So yeah, I mean, as I say, I don't think it's really sunk in yet. I mean, we've got a lot on this year, so concentrate on other stuff. But we are, we're putting the work in. So I'm happy with how I'm looking at the moment.
Yeah.
I know I say I look at other people and they all look great, and for me, that's what it's all about. I can only go at my best. There's nothing I can do here that's going to change anything. I'm not going to find a miracle drug that's going to put on 10 kilos of muscle. in this year. It's not going to happen. So
there's some drugs that can help, but I don't know about 10 kilos.
Well, exactly. But no, there's no one out there. If you get told actually your show's now here, it's like, oh, I mean, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to fight this for a couple of years and then maybe add some size. But you go in with what you've got and you give everything that you can with what you've got. So I know for me, being very heavily tattooed, I've got to come in better condition than anybody. Because there's no skin on my front; it's all in.
And that's the thing; the tattoos do hide the muscles a little bit.
Exactly.
Like I could definitely. I've got no tattoos on this side, but you can definitely tell like it hides the definition a little bit.
Yeah, it does massively. And so there are tattoo cover-ups you can get, but they all tend to react with your tan. So you put them on quite late.
Yeah.
So it doesn't react with your tan. But there's ways around it. We'll see what we leading up to it. We'll find some cover-up. We'll find some tan and see what works and see what doesn't work. No, I'm looking forward to it. I am. When it first came out that it was going to be this year, I was like, not excited. And then everyone else was like, oh, it's brilliant. And then I spoke to my missus about it, like, look, I know we're getting married this year. I'm competing this year as well. And she's like, oh, okay. And then, it's like, okay, well, no, listen, this is what you fought for. So if I don't then compete, I fought for this. And
you don't show up.
Yeah.
Where is he?
Sorry, guys.
Where's the organizer?
Great.
Just go on like a Zoom meeting.
It would be awful if I didn't, so I have to, and I will, and I'll do the same next year, and I'll do the same.
Mate, lead by example. I can admire that. You got to lead by example, whether you feel
I might
you're ready
be
or
fat
not.
on stage, but I'm going to be there.
You'll be the happiest fat guy for like getting
exactly that. Yeah, the happiest, most tan fat guy on stage. No, it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be really good. I'm really excited for it. I am. The more it's gone on, like obviously we got confirmed 2 weeks ago. We got submitted last Tuesday to the NPC and the IFBB. So we find out this week. He said give us a week. So we find out this week. I mean, we know it's happening. I don't really know what we're waiting to find out. I suppose it's that
seal of approval, that official.
Yeah, and then then the organisers will then do the posters and stuff like that. And my social media isn't massive; it's only got a small outreach. Chris's social media is bigger. He's involved with Gymshark, he's involved with My Protein, and that's phenomenal to have him with 30,000 people potentially looking at his social media doing this is great. So once them posters are up, and then you've got the organisers who. Everyone knows who they are, but I'm not going to name them because I don't want to sound like I'm bad mouthing. And I'm not. And, I respect everything they do. It should have been done earlier, but, anyway. But, once they start advertising it, there's going to be people that haven't seen mine, haven't seen Chris's, and haven't seen other people's. So have gone, I didn't know they'd been done this.
Yeah,
I didn't know this was here in this country. So it's as soon as it's shareable by the guys doing it, it's there. And
because at the moment it's just you I guess reaching out to people on Instagram, etc. Going, this is happening, and they're like, oh, okay, is it? Like you honestly taking your word.
I don't even know how I started messaging people. I was like, listen, look, I'm messaging you because you're in a wheelchair, and it's like. I mean, that sounds so crap, but that's how I did it, and that's the only way that I could do it.
Yeah, because I know, obviously you reached out to me. How did you come across my profile? Because you actually came across my my PT profile, not necessarily alt movement profile.
Do you know what? I think it was I see what you was doing. I'm looking on my phone now. I think let's have a look. Oh, actually, I spoke to you this morning, didn't I?
Yeah.
There we go. So, so I literally come out to you. I mean, this was this month, wasn't it? February. Yeah. So I literally sent you a message. I think I want to say someone put me onto you.
Okay.
But I can't remember who. Who do we?
I mean, it's always good to know, so I know what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah. Do you know what? It was either someone put me onto you. Look, if you look at our first message, I'll tell you exactly what show it is in that.
Oh dear.
I do, yeah.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It weren't Sitting Bull UK, was it?
What's that?
Sitting Bull UK.
Well, that's who I. Okay, so that's the guy that's just done 610 deadlift. So it could
Yeah,
have
yeah.
been.
So yeah, it might be him because he does follow a lot of my stuff. I've had a chat with him a few times. Strong lad,
He's
strong
down
lad.
Canada, isn't he?
Yeah.
For a comp. But do you know what? It's either that or I come across your profile and see what you're doing.
Yeah, I might have done because
you're doing it with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I reached out to you, and you know, we are where we are now. And it, for me, it's people like you that have made this what it is. You know, like if it was just me, you know, how long would I have to fight for to get it if it's just me? It's the people that signed the petition. It's the people that shared the stories. It's the people that, you know, have passed information on to others. And, you know, the guys that you train, it's an interest for you as well. You know, like it's people like you that have got us to where we are. And potentially in 5-10 years, it could just be an ongoing show. You know, if this show that we're doing has a very poor turnout, it's not going to carry on. So it hasn't got a very poor turnout. We already know that.
It's 5 years time, it's going to be huge. 10 years time, it's going to be huge. I think that's the mindset you've got to have right now. That like
exactly that. And it's not the sort of thing that I don't want 10 shows a year for us all to go, because then if we've got
it doesn't become unique. It doesn't become special. If you've got like I don't know what to liken it to.
One show a year to aim for, then we've all got that to aim for.
Yeah, it's that's the one show that everyone gets ready for. Like not spreading it out. Actually, I don't feel ready for this one. It's like if you run a gym and you put on 10 classes. Like if you put on 10 classes, you might have 2 people in each class. Whereas if you put on 2 classes, you'll have a fully booked class for
100%,
both of them. So it's the same as that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I know I reached out to a lot of people. You know, some people come back to you, some people don't. And it's the individual, you know, some people don't want that attention. Some people don't, you know, so I might have offended people when I've reached out to them. You know, I've always gone out with the same concept. This is what we're trying to do.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't come across offensive when I read your message. I'm just really shit sometimes at getting back to people. So I was like, I'll reply to that in a minute. And I just forgot.
You know, I had someone message me the other day and they're like, I didn't see this. And, you know, I sent it probably 4 or 5 weeks ago. And it's like, yeah, listen, you know, you probably wouldn't have seen it, probably fell in your requests. And why would you look in there? Who looks in there? You know, you probably thought it's just some weird bloke in a wheelchair trying to get money.
At the moment, it's normally people trying to get you win a free iPhone or something like that. Or
oh my God, I'm taking them all the time. Like,
hello, what is it? Hello, dear. This is our ambassador profile.
Asking me for money. And I'm like, dude, you have no idea who I am. I have no idea who you are. I'm sure you've got a friend. Oh yeah, but I need your help. Yeah, see you later.
I mean, I do understand some of them are robots or some of them are just like random geezers scamming or whatever. But I do like to have a little bit of fun with them every now and then.
Yeah, no, we had
one of them was saying, we design like clothes, custom clothes and stuff. I was like, oh, fantastic. Actually, I run an intergalactic federation. Can you get arms like clothes with like 6 arms and stuff? Because I work with aliens. I was like, yeah, we can do that. I was like, you're definitely not English. You're definitely not understanding what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that's it. Exactly. But people fall for it, otherwise they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, yeah, people do. Unfortunately, people do fall for it.
Yeah, it does happen. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know, mate. That's about it, really. That's where we are. Like,
that's it in a nutshell. So how would people get involved? So like now, anyone listening to this podcast today or next week when it's out, how would they get involved? How could they reach out to you? How could they promote your message? At
the moment, it's all going through me or Chris, and then we pass it on to Nick in America. So that's where we are. So any person looking to compete, you know, you got till September, and that's what it is. I'm just chucking that out there. But yeah, so at the moment, because it's not, you can't go on to the organisers' webpage and go on and click down, and there isn't a category at the moment.
Yeah, so and sign up. It's all sort of like sign up for yourself.
It is literally you tell me or Chris and we tell Nick, and then that's another list. I've got a name, a spreadsheet, like with men and women. So at the moment, that's what it is. So that's what we've combined. Sent it over to Nick. Nick's checked up, made sure we haven't made these people up and contacted them. And I'm like, cheers for the trust. And yeah, we've submitted it from there. So at the moment, the only way that if you want to get involved would be contact me, or would be contact Chris, or contact Nick Scott direct, and then he'll send you a link, which is clever, goes to his website, and then you sign up for WCBB, which is wheelchair bodybuilding. I mean, I've signed up for it twice, and I've never had an email from them, so I don't know. But yeah, you know, at the moment, that is how it is. But you know, this week, next week, there should be movement on it, so you can actually go on to the organisers and click down events and click down wheelchair category, men, wheelchair category, women. So that's how people will get involved, and you know, they'll start sharing, because obviously for them, and as organisers, and as you're organising anything, you need to be able to make money, and I understand that. So you know, they're going to want to advertise the category as much as they can, because, as I say, my outreach, Chris's outreach, you know, Chris's is a lot bigger than mine, but my outreach is my followers on social media. I don't have Facebook. I don't have anything else. I literally just have Instagram. So, you know, that's the people that follow me on that. That's my outreach. You know, people share it, and then other people will look, and people share that, and you know, so the followers have gone up since we've started doing this, which is phenomenal, and it's great, and it's nice to see people are interested. But at the moment, until they turn around and put it on their actual events list, the only way to get involved in it is contact myself or Chris. So, which is a bit crap, but as I say, next week that should change.
Yeah,
I'm hoping.
Hopefully just in time for this podcast to come out, then I can put all the links in it as well.
Yeah, exactly that. As soon as I
segue.
know, I'll send it all to you, and then yeah.
And I think that's something like this. I know it might start off small, but with enough momentum and enough passion behind it, and just consistency, like it will grow. Like I've seen it myself. That's how I've grown my business, and that's how I've got so busy and I'm doing what I'm doing. It's just because I've shown up every day, regardless of whether anyone else does. I'll be here.
But that's how you start, isn't it? That's exactly what you've got to do. You've got to put the work in. You know, I was always prepared to be the only person on stage, and then it grows from there. Like, you know, you go back to like the beginning of bodybuilding coming over here, there wasn't gyms like there are now. Social media's made bodybuilding massive. You know, you have Gymshark, for instance. You make that 20 years ago, they wouldn't be anywhere near where they are. Yeah, you know, but it's
all about the right place at the right time, and I think you're jumping 100%. On a wave at the moment, like with adaptive sports that is growing. And I think, if you ride that wave, you're going to be one of the pioneers within that circle. And you know, someone in 20, 30, 40 years time will be having a conversation on a podcast saying, I'll tell you what, this guy, Nick, like,
Exactly that. And they're probably like, yeah, Chris. And I'll be like, whoa. Guys.
What the hell, man? Just could have got more followers.
Yeah, exactly. But no, like, I'll just want, just as long as it's there. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't care, as long as it's there. Other people in 10 years, it's still going, it's still competing, still, you know, there's an opportunity for us. And then, you know, you move on from wheelchairs and you get mixed disabilities, and that's the ultimate.
I think that's the thing. You got to start at one place. If you started going too crazy, like you can go into neurological, you can go to like limb indifference as well.
Yeah, I think for me it was, I'm in a wheelchair and I'm starting this. So I'm
play to your strengths.
It's selfish. It is selfish reasons.
No, it's not selfish. It's smart, because there's no point in you trying to like associate yourself with people with missing limbs, because people are going to go, oh, I don't really resonate with that.
You can't resonate with us, what you're doing. But it's, you know, my argument was always, you've already got this category. Yeah. In the Olympia. How, if I'm fighting for a pro card, how do I then get to that? Oh, you have to go abroad. Okay, well, I'm not in a position to go abroad. Well, you can't get one. What? You actually cater for every single category that's in the Olympia, apart from wheelchair bodybuilding. But wheelchair bodybuilding. So if you look at the wheelchair bodybuilding stage at the Olympia, they're all American and Canadian. Yeah. And it's all right, because it's open over there. It's massive. It's huge. And
the UK is always about 5 years behind America.
Yeah. So, well, there you go. It says it all, doesn't it? Harold Kelly's 4-time Mr. Olympia. So we're 5th year. Nice enough to even respond to one of our messages the other day. Like, put a post. So we was asked to start a official wheelchair UK bodybuilding page. So we've done that. Put a post up about Harold Kelly, and he just replied to me the other day. He's like, yes. And it was like, look, is there ever going to be a UK competitor on stage with this guy, and he's like 100%. It's like, okay, well, I'm glad you see that. We don't have the category yet. So, but what we do is just not common knowledge. But yeah, so you know, look, in 5 years, 3, or maybe even next year, there might be a UK guy on there.
Oh, 100%. I feel like there's going to be, man. And I'm seeing it. So like, I'm not massively into the bodybuilding like industry or anything like that, but I have a massive respect for anyone that does it. Time, dedication you have to put into doing that is unreal.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing it with CrossFit. I'm a CrossFit coach. I work at CrossFit gym.
There's a lot in CrossFit,
and it's growing in the UK. In America, as I say, we're that 5 years behind. Like, and now it's that fifth year sort of thing. Like, it's starting to spring up over and get. I mean, it's been here for what 10 plus years now, but it's really starting to get traction now, and especially with the adaptive athletes, which is
100%. I've seen a lot of it. Like, since I've been doing this, and since I've been in the wheelchair, I look at, you know, it's almost like when I wasn't in the wheelchair, it was out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, so because you don't think about it, because it's not like something you would think is a problem. It's like when you're in a wheelchair, like you see the things like, as we said, putting trousers on. Like, you put your trousers on, don't even think nothing of it. In a wheelchair, bloody hell, it's taking ages.
Exactly. Yeah, no, you're right. You know, like the help that I get at home, people don't see. They see me in a gym, or they see me in a supermarket getting food. They don't see me in the supermarket. Actually, I can't reach that, so I have to go shopping with my missus. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's on the top shelf. I'm not getting that down. I need that one.
It's quite funny to say that when I go shop, my missus is quite short. I can't remember exactly how tall she is, but like, she'll literally scale the fridge. I just turn around, I'm like, do you want me to grab that? No, I can get it. And she's like climbing at the top. I'm like, oh man, be careful, you're going to pull everything down.
Oh, brilliant, love it. But yeah, I mean, that's the side that people don't see. Like, you know, I follow a girl on, she's a CrossFit girl, Ellie, her name is.
Yes, I've spoken to her as well.
Yeah, like, phenomenal what she's done. And I see on her story the other day, her Uber pulled up like 5 foot away from the curb, and she's like, how am I getting out? And it's just like, he's thought in his mind, I'll just put up where I think, and you can deal with the rest. It's like, my wheelchair's on the curb and there's 3 foot between me and my chair. How am I getting to that? It's like, people don't think, because it doesn't affect their everyday life. So yeah, as I say, like, people see me in the gym, they see me training, they see my missus training and helping me put the weights on and taking them off and stuff like that, or, you know, holding me into a position where I haven't got as much support that I need, so she'll like have a knee in my back, or leaning into my back, or holding me, like things like that. They see that, they don't see the struggles of everyday life. So you know, this, you know, I know Chris is quite big. He's got a good following on it. So he'll probably do a lot of videos and people can see a lot more of his life. Like, as I say, he was injured in rugby, like taken out obviously bad enough to put him in the chair. So, you know, I mean, his life going, I used to play football years and years and years ago, and I was never great, but I think when you're doing rugby and that's what's injured you, I mean, he must miss that a lot. Yeah, because that's what's, you know, he loved that sport enough to play it a lot. He was taken out, put in a wheelchair, and you know, that's got to be quite hard.
Yeah, it's got to be hard, but I think, like, if you spin it on his head a little bit and look at it in a different point of view, would he be in a position today to what he's doing and helping people?
100%. Yeah, you know, no, 100%. Right?
So I'm always going to look for a silver lining in things, honestly.
Well, this is like, okay, so my mate Alec, and I haven't spoken to him for many years, so I used to make the term mate loosely. I mean, I haven't spoken to him since I was in the army. He's the guy that won the first Invictus medal. Now, he won it on 100 meters. He lost a leg in Afghan, won it on 100 meters. He hated running. Absolutely hated running.
He becomes a sprinter.
Becomes a sprinter. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you put a positive spin on it. What Chris is doing, Chris is phenomenal. Like, he's training hard, working with Gymshark, working with My Protein. He's got backing of phenomenal people behind him. You know, like, you look at his people following him, for example, like Ryan Terry, Nathan Diasha, people like that, and you're just like, man, these are big names in the world of bodybuilding or the world of men's physique, everything. Like, these are massive, massive names. And he's got them all on quick dial and stuff like that.
He's rubbing shoulders with them all.
Exactly. And that's phenomenal. So yeah, you're right. You know, the positive side of it, would you be in a position that you are now, or would you be getting up every Sunday in the cold, going to run around and throw a ball? Yeah. You know, like, where would you rather be? Like, as I say, in the beginning of this, I'm a positive person. So for me, like, I wouldn't have pushed for this wheelchair category. So my positive spin on this is, do you know what? Like, not just great parking, but we've put something on the map here in UK bodybuilding that has never been done.
Mate, and I think that's the thing you've got to look at. It's like the one thing you can leave behind is a legacy like this. Like, you can work your ass off, you can do your 9 to 5 job, you can do that, get to the end of your life and go, yeah, I've got a bit of savings, left the house to kids, etc., etc. But like, to do something like this, you've really made a stamp in history. You've really put your mark on something, and that excites me, man. I think that's one of the things that drives me. Like, I've got a big goal. Maybe it's a bit ambitious, but I want to be the #1 guy in the UK for adaptive athletes and adaptive sports and stuff. 100%. So, mate, that's what I want. And if I can get to the end of my life and know that I've gave that a good shot, whether it happens or not, or whether I've just helped a few people, mate, I'm happy. I'm buzzing.
No, that's it, and that's phenomenal. And you're like, for you, I mean, I know it's your job, and obviously you have to do your line of work. You have to be passionate. To go any PT, you have to be passionate about what you do. It's a self-employed, relentless role where you start at 6 o'clock in the morning and finish when the gym closes. So for you, that's great. But for you to then turn around and go, do you know what? I don't want to help normal people, and I will help normal people as well because that's my job. But I want to help people that actually have a harder life and struggle to do things, or might not have ever thought about doing that until I've come up and said, listen, let's do this, let's work on this. And that for me, like, is phenomenal. If someone, I think if I was in my position probably 10, 15 years ago, it would be very different. Like, I probably would have been in a very dark place. Mindset would have been very, very different. I haven't got the family support. Wouldn't have had the family support that I've got now. So, or I might have done, I don't know, but I know for me, my missus has been a rock. Like, literally, she does everything. She does all my food prep and everything like that. I can't fault that. And she's strong, man. Like, I don't know many people that, and I say this because, in my opinion, life would be easier for her without it. But I don't know many people who could put up with it. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, then you sit there and you say, well, actually, most of these guys that I spoke to in wheelchairs, they're girlfriends, wives, fiancés, whatever, boyfriends, however you want to look at it, they're all stood by them. And it takes a strong person to be able to do that because, as I say, it's not just my life that's changed. It's their life, it's our kids' lives, it's everything. Yeah, all right, we might jump into a theme park or whatever, which is great. But it's, well, we're not going up there because that's got steps. We're not going there because that's, holidays are affected. Like, I mean, our last family holiday was, so a good example, a family holiday we went on was in a hotel in Ibiza, on the nice side of Ibiza, San Miguel, and the hotel was built into the cliffs. And to get to the beach, you had to walk down steps and everything. No, it can't be done now. Like, stuff like that, I can't do. But, so that's affected their lives. It's changed their lives. But for me, as I say, probably my main push in all of this wasn't even for me. It was for, one, I need to prove to my son, just because I'm in a wheelchair, life doesn't stop. Like, we keep working, we keep pushing. I can still do everything that I could have done. I'm not running for a bus, but I don't need to do that. I can still do everything kind of that I could do before.
In an alternative way. That's it. That's all I say to people. You're just doing the same thing, but in an alternative way.
Yeah,
slightly
exactly.
different.
Things do, they're changing life, and that's it, and, I'm here, I'm still alive. We've still got a life ahead of us. So, we don't give up. We've got to keep pushing. And for me to say that to my boy, 16, going on 17 this year, it's massive. I need him to understand this, and we don't give up because there's a wheelchair in the way. We push forward, and we try and change history. And what we've done is change history. Not for people who aren't interested in bodybuilding. They don't care. They're not interested. They're not bothered. But for people who are interested in bodybuilding, and for people in wheelchairs who are interested in bodybuilding, they've now got something to look at and go, well, that could be a career for me. I could do that. Like, I'm young enough to build up and get on stage. And like, for the last forever, since bodybuilding has been a pro card, you've had to walk on stage. You've had to pose and on your feet. You don't have to do that now. Like, in this country, you can wheel on stage and you can get the same respect, and not the same paycheck. It's a smaller paycheck, but it's a paycheck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
you're doing your dream job.
Exactly. So, like, and it's only getting bigger. Everything on the Olympia stage that's there is only getting bigger. The prize money is only getting bigger. So, you know, like now, this year, last year, it's the first time you see a wheelchair on the Olympia poster. So that's progression.
And you are seeing it. Like, I'm even seeing on like Facebook ads and stuff like that. Like you got like clothing companies. There's like people with like one leg and stuff like that. I'm like,
exactly.
That's new. I've not noticed that before. And I'm looking out for these things.
Exactly. And that's it. And it, you know, and it just takes someone in the right place, the right time, like yourself, to go, do you know what? Actually, there ain't a lot for these guys.
There's nothing around here. Like I'll challenge you, well, you probably already have, but I'll say go and have a look around your area. There's not a lot. Like I think when I first sort of created Alt Movement and like what I'm doing with that, and it's got a lot of things going on at the moment. Like I was doing research. I was like, is there any clubs around here? Like any weightlifting clubs for people with wheelchairs? No, there was like two things on the government website, and one of them was like a mix. So for people with like autism and Down syndrome and all that sort of stuff, mixing with like people with like cerebral palsy, it's like very much a different condition. Like it's not the same. You can't lump these people just because they've got a disability. Doesn't mean that there's one's neurological, one's physical. Like like you're disabled. Okay, you go in the corner and here's a packet of colouring pencils. Off you go. And it's like, no, that's lame. Like, I don't want to. I want to make something cool. Like, I want people to come like to my classes and go. Like I'm rubbing shoulders with people that are like chucking weight above their head and like all these other things, but just slightly different. And there was another one, like a swimming club, and it was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go like and swim for 20 minutes because it's like a massive piss about to like, for me in a wheelchair, it's like it's really difficult to go swimming. Like to get changed and to have to do all that sort of stuff.
What you do is you just go close to the edge and just go in.
You just roll in, as simple as that. So exactly. That's when I looked at it, and not even from a business standpoint, because like this has never been about the money for me, but just from like a need in the area. I was like, this needs to be created. If I'm not going to do it, like who is? It could be another 10 years. It could be another 20 years. Not that I'm anything special, but like.
But it's to start off something special, isn't it? To them, to the guys you're helping, it's something no one's ever done that before.
Yeah.
Like they might have been told, oh, look, there's a bit of physio you can do. Look at this leaflet. And it's like,
that's it. That is literally it, like, fobbed off.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. And it's no disrespect to doctors, NHS, anything like that. That's what they're told to do. Like that is, you haven't got time to worry about stuff like this. Like, and it's any condition, any illness, like you're a 5-minute slot. This is what I can tell you to do to make your life easier or make your pain better or anything like that. There's medication. Here's a leaflet. Read up on it. So what you're doing, like you just said it, I'm nothing special, is, mate, you're changing lives. These people are coming to you. You've reached out to these people, and that's only going to get bigger. Like, so even if you never grow, like it never gets bigger like than what it is now, you know that these 20, 30, 40, 50
exactly.
people, you've changed their life. And that's what I wanted to leave behind is, you know, hopefully this category stays for years and years and years. And we've created something that is there now for when I'm long gone, people are still like, actually, we've got a wheelchair category, let's do that.
Yeah,
so men and women.
I think that's just so cool. Like, I think that's such a cool thing to leave behind. Like, and it's like even like now, like at this point, you've got that list of people. Like for them, this is an almost like, oh shit, I can do something that I'm passionate about. I can
exactly.
I'm looking forward to this. I've got a purpose. I've got a drive now. I've got like,
that's it.
Because can't go on holiday at the moment, or like last couple of years, maybe I had to go on holiday anywhere. So it is that to look forward to.
Tell me about it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think that is the hardest thing is people don't look at disability as a problem. Like all the gyms I go to, as I say, Ripped were phenomenal. I cannot like thank them enough. They were just faultless. They're brilliant.
Oh, we'll take them in this as well. Anyway, so they'll get
it's not even my gym. It's 20 minutes away. But you know, me and my missus, like honestly, the staff there were phenomenal. Their members are great. You know, the owners, they've nailed it. They've got it perfect. I mean, don't take my gym in it because they don't even open the turnstiles for me. No, they do. But you know, it's a turnstile. You know, there's no thought. The outdoor is a step. Like this isn't going down that. You know, to get in, it's a railing and a turnstile. So it's, you know, and that's not just my gym. That's a lot of gyms. So I know gyms in Chelmsford that are the same. Like they've got a big glass bit and a turnstile. And you're like, why isn't that glass bit a gate? Like, why can't a wheelchair go through that? Why isn't that a gate?
I think people just don't genuinely think. Like, I don't. And once again, this is what I'm doing and trying to create awareness is not like bollocking people or saying you should know this. It's like it's teaching, because like if it's learned behavior, you've learned this over the course of your whole life, and you don't consider these things. I don't consider certain things. I only consider it because this is what I do for a living. But like, if I didn't do this for a living, I probably wouldn't even think about these tiny little things. And I'm not blaming people saying they're wrong in thinking this way. It's just like, it's just about creating that little spark of awareness and go, yeah, I never really thought about it. Like, actually, you're right. I'll put that in place.
It's and because it doesn't affect an everyday lifestyle of yours or theirs. Why should you think about it? You shouldn't have to think about it. But in business point of view, is like, you know, I'm in a wheelchair and I want to come into your gym. It shouldn't be a problem.
And hopefully this sort of stuff we're doing, it's going to change that. You know what I mean? If,
yes,
like, dude,
100%.
Like, once you make a name for yourself and like people start talking about you, they're going to go like, shit, we need to get some disabled access in here because people are going to want to come and train with this guy.
I mean, my team don't even follow me on social media. I'm just going to chuck that one out there.
Oh no!
And it's like, you know what? I'm not going to take you nothing.
Nah, that's it, man. When you're rich and famous, that'll be at age.
I would all change and be like, follow. Nah.
Declined.
Yeah, exactly. No, you know, it's not for me. It's not about that. For me, it's literally opening doors for people behind me and getting them into a position where they can actually, you know, I've got this. You know, I'm 38. I don't want to be competing forever, but you know, if that pro card was on option, there's a good 12 years left that I could do it. But also at the same time, there's people behind me that are in a wheelchair from the age or from birth, maybe, you know, that they can go, actually, this is a lifestyle I want to follow. This is where I want to go. This is an option for me now. So it's there. And that's what we're aiming for, more so for people behind us than ourselves.
Listen, man, I think that's amazing. Everything you're doing is awesome. I'm buzzing. That's what's excited to get you on today because, as I say, I've never had anyone sort of like doing this sort of stuff, and I've never really come across it. So I was like, this is a perfect opportunity to get this message out there. So if you want to just shout out your social media, I will put your social media on the link below anyway. Oh no, you got to remember it.
I've got to look at it.
Nick _ Hewitt. It's not one of them like pre-selected one like 964
No, it's Nick _ Hewitt. So there you go.
That's it. So that's Nick. What about Chris as well? Oh yeah, it's showing on the screen. There we go, guys. You can see that.
Chris Nicholson. Let's have a look at his. Let's find it. So I believe it is just Chris Nicholson. Yeah, so it's just Chris Nicholson 12.
That's it, Chris Nicholson 12. Yeah. So these are the main guys heading this up, guys. So
Chris doesn't need any more followers. He's got loads.
No, don't follow Chris. Just follow Nick. Yeah. Just follow Nick. He needs followers. We'll start up a campaign. Followers for Nick.
Exactly that. Exactly. No, it will happen. It's not about followers. They're lovely, and I love it when it happens. But
it's about the message. You know, it's about the message.
It's the message, and to be fair, the more followers, then they can share it. So
that's 100%. It, man. Awesome, dude. Well, it was great to have you on today.
It's been a pleasure.
Enjoyed our conversation. Hopefully, we help some people and we get some more people involved for your calls. And I'm going to be fighting it as well. And I will be there at the bodybuilding show, watching you guys. 100%.
You don't know which one yet, though, right?
No, I don't know which one. I'm definitely not going to find out as soon as I press stop recording. Anyway, Nick.
No, I appreciate it. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Awesome, dude. Thanks for jumping on. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, buddy.
And you. Take care, mate.
Take care, man.